Hi guys, I'm WooThang, and this is Alpha 3 Max versus mode played on 2 arcade sticks. By the end of this video, you'll be able to do this setup yourself. In our last Alpha 3 Max versus mode video, we got heaps of views and questions about how it works. Because of this, I'm going to show you how to set it up. So what we'll need for the Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max emulation is a laptop, an Android phone, and a USB-C male to USB-A female adapter that you can buy at your nearest electronics or hardware store. For the emulation to work, the first thing you'll need is the game ROM. To download the ROMs, you'll need to open up your web browser and search for the Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max PSP ROM. I'm not going to show you where to download this, and legally you'll need to own the game before you download the ROM. So after you've downloaded the Alpha 3 Max ROM, you'll need to download the PSP emulator. And by doing that, you'll need to go to the Play Store, press on the search bar and type in PPSSPP, and you'll see that the first result will have the PSP emulator, and we just press on install. To open this emulator from the main screen, you just need to go back, swipe up to show your apps, and you should see the PPSP emulator icon right there. We'll also need to download the PSP emulator on the laptop. So we open up a browser, go to Chrome, or whatever browser that you're going to use, and we're just going to type in PPSSPP. It should show up as the first link. We'll click on that, and then we click on download, and then we just download. Because this is a Windows computer, we download the latest version for Windows. Once that's finished, we open that up and we just extract it to the desktop to make it easier. And we actually need to create a new folder. And we just click on select folder. So it's going to extract all the contents to the PSP folder on the desktop. Here we go. We'll also need to download the ROM for the emulator. Now again, I'm not going to show you where to download the ROM, but pretty much you'll need to type in Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max PSP ROM, and then it's up to you to find it from these links. So once you've downloaded the Alpha 3 Max ROM, you'll need to go back to your PSP emulator. And there's two executables there, depending on which Windows you got, whether it's Windows 64 or 32-bit. We're just going to click the one without 64 and load up the emulator. Now usually the Alpha 3 ROM will be located in the downloads folder, so you'll need to click on browse, and then we need to find downloads. Here we are. and you'll see that the Alpha 3 Max ROM is right here. So we click on that, and we click on install. And then we won't delete the zip file for now, so we'll just click back. Then if we click on games, you can see that the Alpha 3 Max game is right here. So let's load it up. So what needs to happen now is that we're going to connect the laptop to the mobile phone through a technique called mobile tethering. In order to do this, we need to go through the settings of the phone. So click on settings, go to connections, and we look for an option called mobile hotspot and tethering, and then we enable this phone as a mobile hotspot. So by now, the laptop should be able to pick up the mobile phone as a potential Wi-Fi spot. So now we need to connect the laptop to the phone. So if we go into the bottom right hand corner, and right now it says no internet access. If we click on that, we should get a list of options. Now this phone here is a Samsung Galaxy S8, so it has actually picked up the Wi-Fi hotspot. So if we just click on that and we connect, it says enter the network security key. So what we'll need to do is go back into the phone, go into connections, mobile hotspot tethering. Now if we click on mobile hotspot, it should display a password. So we're just going to enter that into the computer. So it'll be PBCO. It says, do you want to allow your PC to be discovered by other PCs and devices on this network? We're just going to say yes for now. Okay, so now the laptop should be connected to the phone. So now that we have connected the laptop to the phone, we need to configure the game settings within the PSP emulator. So we're just going to maximize this screen to get a better view. And on the top where the menu bar is, there's game settings. We're just going to expand that. And then we're going to go into more settings. Now here you can modify things like the controls, which we'll be doing later on. But what we're interested in right now is the networking. So how do we get this connected to the phone? Okay, so first of all, we want to be able to check enable networking, WLAN. So make sure that's ticked. Send Discord rich presence information. We don't need to tick that, so leave that unticked. Change pro ad hoc server and IP address. So we need to change this. We need to make this as the host. So what we need to do is click on this setting, and to put the right IP address, first we'll delete what's here, and we're going to go down into the Windows search, and we're just going to type in command prompt. Now, to look for the IP address, we need to type in a command called ipconfig, and then we do do -all, so we want to get all the information, IP information of the computer and what it's connected to, and we press enter. And as you can see here, we have an IP4 address. This is what we're interested in. So if we can remember this, 192.168.43.216, it might be different with your mobile device, but we're just going to enter this IP address in. So remember, it's the IP version 4 address. So we'll just go back here, we'll delete all again, and we're just going to type in the IP address. So I'm just going to get it into a smaller window. So 192.168. Oh. There you go. .43.216, and then we press OK. So it should update there. And then the next option, which is really important, enable built-in Pro ad hoc server. So we want this computer to be the host, so we tick that. We can change the MAC address if you want, it's not really important. If you just click it, it will just change to a new MAC address. And then the port offset. We want to make sure that the port offset is the same on the laptop as it is on the mobile phone. So for this, we're just going to enter in, I'd say a nice round figure, 5,000. And then press OK. And that's it for the network settings. Now maybe you want to change the name of the PSP device. So in the systems option, if you scroll down, there's a change nickname option which is set to PPSSPP. So if we press that, we can actually change the nickname. And for this, we're just going to call this PC. So we know that which is the PC and which is the mobile. And we just press OK. And then if we go back. So what we'll need to do next is configure the network settings through the phone. So if we go into the PSP emulator, and then we go into settings, go into networking. Now we want to enable networking WLAN, so keep that ticked. The send Discord rich presence information, keep that unticked. And the change Pro ad hoc server IP address, we change that to the same IP address as we entered in the laptop. So it'll be 192.168. And so I just get the settings 43.216. Then we're done. And we want to keep this unticked, the enable built-in Pro ad hoc server, because this is not the host. You might want to change the MAC address a few times. It'll be different from the laptop. And the port offset, as discussed, we need to change it to the same port as we did on the laptop. So there's a slider here. It might be a bit difficult to get to 5,000, but if you use the plus and minus symbols, you can actually get whole numbers. And that's why I picked a whole number on the laptop in the first place. Let me press OK. We also want to change the name, because by default it's PPSSPP. So we change the nickname. And we're just going to call this mobile. And done. Click on back. Let's enter in the game. So the next thing we need to do is create a network game between the laptop and the mobile. Now if you haven't already configured your keys, the default keys for the laptop is your arrow keys for your directional, and on the left hand side there's ASDZXC for your 6 buttons, and spacebar is your start key. So if we just press yes for this and then press Z just to proceed. And then until it goes through all that animation, we're able to press start. So press spacebar, press start, spacebar again, and then we go to network and just press Z. And we'll just say yes for this, and we'll say yes for this as well. Press Z again, and let's go to versus mode, single, and this will connect to a lobby. Windows might come up with a message like this, which is initially it wants to block the PSP emulator, but we're just going to allow access. So we're just probably going to do it for private networks only. We don't want it to do it to a public network, so let's allow network. Okay, now we want to do the same thing to the phone. Now, if you just press on the screen, there should be some keys on the screen. It's very faint, but there's a start button down there. Now that the screen's blacked out, you can see it. Just press start. Press the start button again. Let's go into network. So I'm going to use this little drag thing. And then we go to network. Press the X key to go through. Say yes. And then we press yes again. And let's press the X key. Go into versus mode. Single. Now we're connected to the lobby. And see, on the laptop it's picked up the mobile, and the mobile has picked up the PC. Happy days. So now we're going to start a game. First we press the X key on whoever's going to start the game. You just press the X key, and then we press the connection terminated. That's alright. Let's get it connected again. Okay. Press the X key, and then press the X key on the other device. And whoever's the host, or whoever started the game, only has access to configure the options on this screen. So seeing that the laptop is the host, I'm just going to leave it to the default options and just press OK. And there you go. You can see on both screens they're perfectly in sync. Not much lag difference. And when you're playing two players, you really only need one screen. But the next step, now that we have got two devices linked, the next thing that we want to do is configure our controls, because you probably don't want to be playing with a keyboard. And to do this, we need to go into the game settings on the laptop, and then go into more settings. Now it's going to cut off, but that's okay. We just need to go into controls, and then we go into control mapping. Now, by default, the PSP emulator already has key bindings done, but we want to remove all of this. So to do this, we just click on the clear all button. So now that we've cleared the configuration, you might want to plug in your favorite joystick. So here we have Dr. Ella's Key Arcade Controller PS4. So I'm just going to plug this in, and it should be plug and play. So what I'm going to do is that we're just going to configure it key by key. So if we press the plus icon next to D-pad up, that should correspond to up, as it says 360 up, then down, left, and right. Now, for circle, X, square, and triangle, you might wonder what attacks they correspond to. Circle is medium kick. X is light kick. Square is light punch. Triangle is medium punch. And your L and R buttons are your heavy attacks. So your L would be heavy punch, and your R would be heavy kick. And then you configure whatever you want as your start button and select. And that's it. You don't really need to configure much else. So if we go back into the game, click back, go back again. Yeah, connection terminated, that's no problem. Let's just get out of here. So press circle to go back, and we're just gonna perhaps go into training mode. Press X, and then the directionals, they work. I'll just show it to you right here, and then we just go through training, and we just confirm that all the buttons are correct. The direction, back, forward, up, crouch, and then light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick. So next you might be wondering, how do I get a joystick to work on a phone? Luckily, we have the adapter. So I'm not sure if you can see it. So we're just going to plug this in through the USB-C port of the phone, or the charging port. And on the end of it, I have a really old controller, a Fight Stick 3. I bought this for $15 at EB Games. Lovely little stick. I'm just going to plug this in the USB slot of the phone, of the adapter. Now we're going to go back into the settings of the phone. So what we're going to do is press back. We're going to go to settings, we go to controls, and then we go into control mapping. And like the laptop, we want to clear all the settings. So let's clear all. Then D-pad up. D-pad down. D-pad left. D-pad right. And remember, circle is medium kick. X is light kick. Square is light punch. Triangle is medium punch. Just going to go skip the start and select. Just keep the consistency of remembering the attack buttons. L is your heavy punch, and R is your heavy kick. And then go back to start, press start, and select. And that's it. Just go back, and we press continue. And we're just going to test this out. So it looks to have worked. So now we're just going to go back from this menu by pressing circle, and we're just going to test this in training mode. So I'm just rolling the joystick in a circle so you can see that it's very responsive. And I'm just going to select a random character, a bit of Fei Long, and then just, I don't know, I'll just choose a random character. I'll just choose Ryu. And then you can see the directional keys are working. Oh, there's a bit of an emulation thing there. And then the button test: light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick. So that all works. And I can do commands. Okay, so now that we've got our controller set up, let's give it a try. So that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time in the next video.